Hello and welcome to the North Country Outdoor Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Man, today I want to talk about small business anxiety. It's a very real thing. Like I don't want to be negative here, but there's certain times of the season, especially in the spring and in the fall. In the spring, you're just coming into a busy season. In the fall, you're just going into winter, which is busy for me. And so last year, I had rented a man lift from one of the only rental company in town, and believe it or not, I almost died. Like I dropped a chunk of a tree on the lift while I was in it. It was a big chunk of tree, and it took the lift from 30 foot up in the air and slammed it to the ground. I destroyed the lift. So I took it back to him, and it was pretty much, obviously, as you can imagine, they weren't very happy. It was a brand new lift, and their insurance ended up covering it, but it cost me $500. I paid the deductible. I wanted to be a nice guy and do what I could since I did destroy it, and I got my name put up on the board, like, do not rent to North Country Outdoor Service. So I went in there the other day, and he said that if I can give him proof that I'm insured for rental equipment, that he would have no problem renting to me again. So I got a hold of my insurance agent. I do have a proof right now saying that I'm insured for leased or rented equipment for $30,000, and I now need to go in there and hand that to him and see what he says, because there's like one other rental company in town, but their equipment is complete junk. It's a lumber yard, and their equipment isn't maintained very well. It's cheap, but it just doesn't work very well. And right now their only chipper is broke down, so I can't get it, and I need a chipper for a job this weekend. So the anxiety of going in there and handing them this proof of insurance is like, it's really tough, because I don't know what he's gonna say. I think he's gonna let me rent from him again, but like, I feel like an idiot. Like I wrecked a $30,000 lift because I made a mistake, and now I have to go back there and say, hey, can I pretty please rent from you again? Eventually I'll have my own lift, but I'm just getting started, and and a chipper. I'm going to be buying a chipper here pretty soon, but I need to rent one for a job coming up this weekend. So hopefully they let me rent, because I have this proof of insurance to show to them. I'm not going to go in there with the camera because I don't want to be disrespectful. I'll get back with you here a little bit, and I'll let you know how it went. Okay, we're back. I went in there. I gave them the proof of insurance that I now have for the coverage for leased, rented, or borrowed. I've seen that on there, borrowed. So if I borrow something of yours, it's now also covered if I destroy it. He was real cool about it. He said that, I gave you an opportunity to make things right, and you took that opportunity, and indeed I did. I paid the $500 deductible, which I could have just shanked him with, and I got insurance to cover my own rear, which is smart to do. There's nothing wrong with that. And, I said I need a chipper for Saturday. He said, okay. He did call my agent just to make sure that I wasn't lying, that I didn't make the thing up, which I don't blame him for that either. He's just trying to cover his own rear. You really have to swallow your pride, and it's quite hard to do when you have to bring somebody back a piece of equipment that's pretty much brand new that you just destroyed. That relationship gets a little rocky at that point, and then you have to ask them for forgiveness and do what you need to do on your part to make it right, so you can continue to rent from them. It's just a lot easier at this point in my business to rent equipment. I don't have to pay for it through the winter time. I don't have to, I add it on the bill, and the customer pays for it. It's just the way it is. It's so anxiety, business anxiety is a real thing. This time of year, I just got so many things going on, and I know somebody's going to roll into the comments and be like, quit your bitching. I'm not bitching. It's just the way it is. I'm very happy with where I'm at and what I'm doing, but there's just so many things to do, and I feel like I just spin my wheels. I drop my daughter off at school at 8:30, and before I know it, it's 3 o'clock, and I got to go get her again. It's just like, and I didn't get that much accomplished. The list is so long. And my wife, bless her heart, she's like, honey, you really need to make a list and just start checking things off that list. Well, I'm stubborn, and I don't want to make a list. So what am I going to do? I'm going to continue to struggle with all these things bouncing around in my head that I need to get done. And sometimes things, they just don't get done, or you screw something up. In fact, yesterday I had some brake line and a flare tool in my other vehicle, and I needed to go to my shop and fix it. And I grabbed the brake line but not the flare tool. And I was 30 miles from home bidding a job by the time I realized it. And my wife, she was nice enough to meet me, and we got that straightened out. But because of the stress and the anxiety, I grabbed the brake line but not the tool. And then today, right now, I'm actually sitting outside the Secretary of State getting ready to go in for the second time today, because the first time I bought this dump truck like a month and a half ago, and I'm just now getting around to putting a plate on it. Well, I got in the safe earlier today and I grabbed a copy of the title. I didn't grab the actual title. Why I had a copy of the title in there, I don't know. That is unknown to me, why I would have a copy of the title. So I get to the Secretary of State, it's all filled out, and I hand it to them, and they're like, "Sir, this isn't a legal title." I'm like, "What do you mean it's not a legal title?" And so then I got back out to my truck. They're like, "You need to get the real title." I called the people I bought it from. I was like, "Bro, like, I don't have the real title. You must still have the real title." And then I decided I'd call my wife and have her look in the safe one more time, and she did, and it was there. So I had to, again, swallow my pride, call the guy back and say, "Hey, I'm sorry. I just misplaced it. No harm, no foul. Have a great day. Thank you." So yeah, it's just, I don't even really know how to explain it. And I decided to make this video today because I'm feeling anxiety right now, and there's really no way to hide anxiety, and you really almost need to make a video while it's happening to try to explain it, because I feel like when you're feeling it in your body, it comes across more real as I'm talking to you guys, the camera, you guys. I feel like I'm talking to you. It's a real thing. And so to offset some of that anxiety, sometimes I try to get a little goofy, like just do little goofy things to maybe make myself chuckle. Is that weird? I don't know. It might be weird, but I spend most of my days alone in my vehicle, driving around, bidding jobs, doing this and that, and I have to do whatever it takes to keep my mind at ease. I got places like Walgreens and Fifth Third Bank. They're crawling up my ass. They want me to do spring cleanups, and it's like, you guys are in Pennsylvania calling me, and I'm in Michigan, and like, you don't even know the weather up here. We just had snow like 4 days ago. Give me a break. I'm not doing a spring cleanup. And they're like, "Well, it needs to be done by this day," and they're just being crazy about it. And I'm just about to tell them to take those lawn mowing accounts and shove it. Like, I don't even want them anymore. Those are the only 2 lawn mowing accounts that I have, Walgreens and Fifth Third Bank. I ditched the rest of them because for me, it's hard to make money mowing lawns. That's another video, but it's just, anxiety is a real thing. But at the end of the day, when the money comes in at the end of the year, when you see what you've accomplished and the amount of money that you've made and the things that you've been able to do and the hard work pay off, it really kind of puts that anxiety to bed. But customers, the people are impatient out there in business, and it doesn't matter what business you're in. I mean, if you're in a cake business, that customer wants that cake right now. They want what they want, and they want it now. They think they're freaking J.G. Wentworth. It's my money, and I need it now. Anyway, yeah. So I'm just letting you know. I've made a vow to you that I'm going to be a real person. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. This is a day in the life of a small business owner. It doesn't really matter what business you're in. You're still responsible for the same things that I'm responsible for. And a lot of the anxiety comes because I don't have anybody to talk to about it. I mean, I can talk to my wife, but she doesn't really, she cares, obviously, because she's part owner, but she doesn't really get it because I do the day-to-day stuff. Just like she's a nurse, she comes home and talks to me about this little kid or whatever and this trauma and blah, blah, blah. No, she doesn't mention any names, but she tells me about her day, and I'm like, cool, man, cool, happy for you. She don't, it's not that she don't care, but she just don't get it. And then on top of that, you can't talk to anybody because most of the stressful situations and the anxiety revolves around jobs and money. And a lot of that stuff is like nobody's business but your own. So it's really hard to share, like, oh yeah, I'm really feeling anxiety about this, but not share that because it has something to do with like personal information, like not really personal information, but information that it's none of anybody else's business is what I'm trying to say. So it's from day to day. I think that's partially also why I started this this channel back up. I changed it from what it was, the guns, and now to the small business, because it's an outlet for me. I will tell you some things that are personal, some financials, but it doesn't really matter if you know it. And maybe it doesn't matter if somebody else knows it. Maybe I'll get more comfortable with it in the future. It's just, I don't want to come across cocky. I don't want to come across however I may come across. I just don't want to come across in a bad way. But I need to get this information out there because people are thinking about starting a business. This is it. This is the real freaking deal, man. This is just, it's stressful, but it's worth it. And I think you should do it too. But, yeah, thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Just take a second, subscribe to the channel. We're just trying to do real things here and show people what it's really like to be a business owner, and follow my journey of ups and downs, success, failures, it all. So just remember, you're beautiful, you are smart, and tomorrow's a new day. Be creative and own it. Own that sucker. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.